Hello everybody, Nana does. How's everybody today on January the 1st? January the 1st, all the bowl games are going on. Cheers, dears. May your team win. Whichever one that might be. This is chai tea today, by the way. Something a little different. First off the top, I just want to say that my heart goes out to the families and friends of those that were either injured or killed on Bourbon Street last night during New Year's celebrations on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. What's this world coming to? Just saying, I guess they had to get one last horrible thing out before the end of the year. Anyway, I was kind of hinting at what I was going to do today, and this is from called The Mirror Now. They do a lot of stuff on YouTube. They also do articles as well. So Elon apparently said, if Kamala Harris wins, I'll be thrown in prison for a very long time. So did he make sure that the Mango Moose Knuckle would win? Is that what we're talking about here? Did he do something to tilt the election process? I don't know. He's got all them geniuses working for him, right? Now, he said this immediately after he endorsed Trump. And then he stuck to him like a tattoo on Trump's ample ass. I'm just saying. Did Elon make this prediction knowing full well that Vice President Harris wouldn't win the election because he had something in the works? I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but that's where a lot of stuff is pointing to right now. And that if she wins, I'll be thrown in prison. Why? Because they'll find out what you did. You tried to stop the election in some way. I don't know. It's just points to ponder, questions that are going through my head. And he also added that the tip of future elections will be in favor of the Democrats. So he had to try and do something to undo that. I don't know. I can't imagine, especially if it gets proven that him and his billions did do something with the election results. Would he would do it to improve his own odds at getting richer? That's what I think. He would be able to fire U.S. workers who strike for better working conditions, pay benefits, overtime wages, stuff like that, which he doesn't want to pay now, and fired a whole bunch of people. Remember when Elon and Trump did that interview on Excrement? They both giggled like 12-year-old boys that just found their dad's porn stash. They were talking about striking workers, and Trump said that if you strike, you're fired. Trump said, oh, that was great. You're the best cutter. Got to have cutters. That's when he was lisping all through. He couldn't say F. Yeah. That's when I did the video on the grill. Never mind. You can look it up. He said, I never liked paying overtime. I would hire a whole new crew to come in and pay them less rather than pay the original crew the overtime that they deserved. Think about it. Thousands of regulations that are going to be cut at Muskrat's plants and companies. Think of how much more money and dominance he's going to gain worldwide. Not to mention the world stage he's in, because he's in constant contact with Putin. Xi's his bestie. After all, he did build the largest car truck plant in the world, in Beijing. And he's just bought a ton more land to build other buildings for his businesses there. So his loyalty to the States is what? Sweet F.A. That's right. Sweet all. His labor costs with that plant in Beijing are extremely reduced because they make so much, right? And he doesn't have to worry about paying benefits. And who cares if a few accidents occur because of rolled back regulations, right? He'll make billions more because Trump and his maniacs will let him get away with anything he wants. They will allow him to deregulate satellites, the space program, anything to benefit himself. He made almost $20 billion from just SpaceX alone. That is taxpayer support money, which comes from direct government contracts. As of November 20th, 2024, those contracts were worth nearly $20 billion. So under a second Trump presidency, he will get more lucrative contracts and shut out any other competitors and gain the monopoly. And that's what he's looking for. That's what he paid his $200 million for, pennies compared to what he's going to get. This cozy deal, in my opinion, was made early, and with it came regulatory recessions, administrative reductions, i.e. laws be damned, massive operative cost savings, and number one for Musk is defanging. Defanging is giving, giving fewer resources to federal agencies tasked with oversight of him and his companies. Defanging. You'll hear a lot of that. And he's also big on the H-1B visas because he can pay them a lot less, and if they bitch, he can send them back home. Can't do that with American workers. Now in India, Elon's Starlink satellite is not allowed to operate. So he supposedly has to turn off the satellite beam, but it has since been linked to a conflict in Manipur in India. He says the satellite is turned off over India because that would be illegal. And he wouldn't do anything shady, right? The Hindu News reports on December 18th that Elon Musk denies Starlink satellite beams are being used in Manipur amid terrorism claims. But somehow, pictures appeared on X where the terrorists somehow ended up with internet devices, tons of arms and ammunition, but that's not necessarily from Musk, in a raid by security forces. Now, Spear Corps of the Indian Army shared photos on excrement, and many users were quick to notice and pick up on the Starlink logo that was on all the devices with 20 meters of cable, one internet satellite router, and a satellite antenna. Geez, can't imagine what they'd be using that for, do you? With the caption, Elon's Starlink is used by terrorists. Gee, I hope Elon looks into it. But how did it get into the terrorist hands in the first place? Don't know. When you're cozying up with Putin and Xi, anything's possible. And then there was the Ukraine incident. In my opinion, Elon was working with Putin when he admittedly, and you can look that up anywhere, Google it, when he admittedly switched off Ukraine's access to Starlink. He says it was to avoid escalation. And I say, bullshit. He turned off that communication satellite because Ukraine had just received better drone technology and were targeting military operations in the Crimean port in Sevastopol, a major Russian naval port. Now, he didn't stop the Russians from attacking civilian targets with their drones. He didn't impede them at all. So I think the muskrat is very fond of wanting to desperately defend war criminals and their desire to commit murder, and by giving the likes of Putin access to his communication satellites. This, in my opinion, is aiding and abetting an enemy of the United States. So, this, in my opinion, is why he poured almost $290 million into Trump's campaign. 1, to make sure he won. 2, to make sure Harris didn't win. And 3, to be able to cozy up to bigger dictators than themselves and reap the benefits and get them all the deregulations they require to make themselves richer. Anyway, this is the first video of the new year. Thank you all for your support last year. Let's make this stronger this year. 99 loves you. Be good, be safe, and please take care of you first so you can take care of somebody else. I love you all so much, and I love reading your comments. Might not get to answer them all, but I do try and read most of them. Some of them I have to remove. Just saying. Anyway, 99 loves you. Take care of you. Mwah.